Hello everyone, and welcome to Behind the Bulletin, where hidden truths and shocking revelations come to light. Today, we bring you a story that has taken the entire nation by storm. At just 30, Hyun has secretly married. And the identity of her older groom has sent the industry, and fans everywhere, into absolute shock. A private ceremony. A mystery leading man. And a truth no one saw coming. What really happened behind those closed doors? Stay with us, because the revelation begins right now. News broke before sunrise. Yet the entire nation woke as if struck by lightning. Hyun, at 30, had secretly married. No rumors. No suspicious sightings, just an unexpected announcement that rippled through the industry like a silent explosion. What stunned people even more wasn't the wedding itself, but the identity of the groom, a man older, influential, and hidden so perfectly that even paparazzi failed to capture a trace. But the truth behind this private ceremony went far deeper than anyone imagined. Just days before the shocking reveal, Hyun had slipped away from the spotlight under the guise of a short personal break. Fans assumed she was preparing for a drama comeback or filming a commercial abroad. Her schedule was clean. Her agency unusually quiet. Social media read like a page torn from a peaceful diary. Not a single sign hinted that she was preparing for one of the most life-changing moments of her career. Yet, behind closed doors, a storm was brewing. Late at night, in a secluded villa hidden on the outskirts of Seoul, a small group of people gathered. No reporters, no staff, no friends outside a carefully chosen circle, just a handful of individuals sworn to absolute secrecy. Candles flickered along the aisle, warm light dancing across silk and glass, creating a quiet beauty so intimate it felt almost unreal. And there, at the far end of the hall, stood the groom, a man whose face remained shadowed from every camera, every guest, every whisper that would soon race across the nation. He waited for her with a stillness that carried weight. His suit was simple but elegant, and his posture held a maturity that immediately suggested why he had been kept secret. He was older, revered in the industry, one whose involvement with Hyun risked shifting public perception overnight. When Hyun finally entered, the entire room seemed to inhale. She wore a gown far from the extravagant dresses expected of a top actress. Instead, she chose something gentle, soft, flowing like quiet moonlight around her. But her eyes told a different story, eyes filled with nervous hope, trembling excitement, and a fear she fought desperately to contain. As she approached him, memories flashed through her mind, years of meeting him behind the scenes, stolen conversations during award nights, comforting words whispered during moments of doubt. Their connection had grown in silence, in the spaces between their careers, away from prying eyes. She never expected it to evolve into something real. Yet here she was, taking a step into a chapter no one knew existed. Their vows were exchanged softly, almost trembling between the candles. Their hands brushed. Their voices wavered. When he slid the ring onto her finger, she felt an overwhelming warmth, as if the entire hidden world they built together finally found its anchor. And when they sealed the moment with a kiss, the audience erupted into hushed applause, knowing that they were witnessing history that would shake the nation once revealed. Peace of that moment couldn't last forever. Hours after the ceremony, Hyun's agency received an anonymous message with a blurred photo attached, and an image clearly taken from a distance, capturing Hyun in a white gown. Panic surged instantly. Her team scrambled. Calls were made. Statements were drafted then deleted. Quiet wedding had lasted barely a few hours before its first crack appeared. By dawn, a major news outlet had already prepared an article hinting at her secret romance with an older, high-profile figure. Reporters were circling. Staff members were interrogated. Security footage of the villa was reviewed. Someone had leaked the location, the timing, the truth. And as the sun rose, casting a pale light over the city, Hyun woke to the sound of her phone buzzing relentlessly. She glanced at her new husband, his brow furrowed with concern. Felt the weight of the world pressing onto her chest. They had only just begun their marriage, but the storm outside was already waiting. Time Hyun stepped out of bed, the internet had exploded. Every major portal site, every entertainment forum, every trending list displayed the same headline: Hyun's secret wedding rumored, older groom involved. Though no photo had revealed his identity, speculation spread like wildfire. Fans begged for answers. Critics demanded transparency. Agencies denied involvement. And the media sharpened their knives, ready to cut through every layer of secrecy she had tried so hard to protect. Her husband stood by the window, watching the city unfold beneath him. He was older, wiser. Someone who had endured scandals before, but he had never expected to be at the center of one again. Especially not because of the woman he loved. Approached him. He took her hand, squeezing gently. "We'll face this together," he whispered. But even he knew the truth. Once the public latched onto a secret, it never let go. Just hours later, her agency summoned her to a private meeting. The atmosphere was suffocating, executives debating endlessly over the safest move. Deny? Deflect? Delay? Each option felt like a betrayal. Hyun listened silently until she finally interrupted them. Her voice trembling but firm. "I won't lie," she said. "Not about this." Words silenced the room. But outside the agency building, chaos swirled like a tornado. Dozens of reporters crowded the entrance. Cameras pointed at every shadow that moved. Journalists shouted questions, speculating wildly about the groom's identity, some naming veteran actors, others naming directors, producers, even CEOs. The theories grew louder, more dangerous, threatening to drag innocent people into the mess. By evening, a tabloid released a partially unblurred photo captured on the wedding night. Hyun's silhouette was unmistakable. And standing beside her was a tall man with broad shoulders and silvering hair. The image was grainy, clear enough to send shockwaves across the industry. Fans gasped. The media roared. Agencies scrambled to issue statements. Truth could no longer remain hidden. And then, the moment that shattered the internet, Hyun herself stepped forward. Dressed simply, with no makeup to hide the exhaustion in her eyes. She stood before the nation in a live broadcast. Her hands trembled, but her voice remained steady as she spoke. Admitted the truth, she had married in a private ceremony. The groom was indeed older, and their relationship had been nurtured away from the public eye for years. She spoke of his kindness, the support he offered during her darkest moments. That built their bond. But what stunned everyone wasn't the confession, it was the moment the groom walked into frame. The audience gasped. Comments flooded the screen in a frenzy. He was a respected figure, admired for decades. Someone no one imagined would be connected to Hyun romantically. Calm presence and gentle expression immediately silenced even the harshest critics. He stood beside her, not hiding, denying, and stated clearly that their love was real, private, and mutual. It was a moment that flipped the narrative completely. Reports surged across social media. Fans defended them fiercely. Industry professionals applauded their honesty. Initial shock transformed into admiration. And as the broadcast ended, Hyun leaned subtly toward her husband, relief washing over her features. Later that night, away from cameras and noise, the couple returned to the quiet villa where the chaos began. Hyun stepped back into the candlelit hall, remembering the night they exchanged vows. Her husband wrapped his arm around her waist, whispering softly, "No matter what happens next, we chose this together." She smiled, tired, emotional, but unbroken. Despite the nation's shock, despite the storm of headlines, one truth remained untouched. Their love had survived secrecy and exposure. And now, it was strong enough to face whatever came next. As the night drew to a close and the final embers of the day faded, a quiet calm finally settled over the storm that had shaken the industry. The truth was no longer a secret. Speculation had been silenced. And Nam Hyun, standing beside the man she had chosen, embraced the beginning of a new chapter with a courage few could match. Started as a hidden vow had transformed into a national revelation, one that tested their strength, their trust, and their resolve to protect what mattered most. In the end, the shock subsided. The noise softened. And what remained was something deeply human, two people who loved each other enough to face the world hand in hand, even when the world wasn't ready. Their journey reminded everyone watching that love doesn't owe explanations, and happiness doesn't need permission. It only needs honesty, and the bravery to hold on to it. Everyone who followed this story with us, from the first whisper of rumor to the final moment of truth, we thank you. Thank you for your curiosity, your compassion, your open heart. Thank you for walking through every twist, every revelation, the heartbeat of this unfolding journey. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and as always, Thank you for being with us until the very end. We'll see you in the next story.